But tonight it is my great pleasure to rise to speak on the great and wonderful Tasmanian tourism industry, which on Friday night of last week we had the Tasmanian Annual Tourism Awards, which is a celebration of the finest, the best of what is a terrific industry and a nation leader, absolutely. The awards are set up by the Tourism Industry Council of Tasmania with the support of a great many organisations, including Qantas, to name one, to recognise those who are really forging ahead to help this industry, which supports so many economies, not just in our major population centres, but also our regional communities as well, to grow the economies in those communities and to create jobs. There were gold, silver and bronze awards over 25 categories throughout the entire industry, ranging from major tourism attractions through to the boutique and very niche operations as well. Though tonight I wanted to pay particular tribute to one individual from Tasmania by the name of Joseph Cromie, who was named the 2017 Tourism Champion. And he is certainly, not only in this sector but broadly in Tasmania, an inspirational Tasmanian and someone that many look up to, particularly in the northern part of the state around the city of Launceston. And Joe Cromie's contributions have spanned 6 decades in our state, and he's been a real contributor to the history of our state and the development in more recent times. He was born in Czechoslovakia and he fled his war-torn community in 1950 at the age of 19, following more than a decade of Soviet and Nazi occupation in his community and in his country. In Tasmania in the 1990s, Joe purchased and cultivated and developed a number of vineyards along the Tamar River in the northern part of the state, vineyards which are now home to some of the best-known brands of wine from Tasmania, including Tamar Ridge and Jantz, the sparkling wine label there as well. More recently, the family company's grown the signature Joseph Cromie and Pepic wine labels, and also developed the Joseph Cromie Wine Centre, which was notably named as one of Australia's top 10 cellar doors, which is an excellent achievement for our little state, I have to say. One of the best contributions Joe Cromie made to our state was at the heart of the global financial crisis, where he injected into a community which needed it some economic activity with the development of the former Launceston General Hospital into what is now a great hotel in the city of Launceston named Hotel Charles, which provided much economic activity and a great many jobs. More recently, Joe Cromie has invested in and redeveloped the Penny Royal complex just outside of the Launceston CBD, and has revealed his vision to develop one of Australia's best hotels, the Gorge Hotel. So Joe Cromie has an absolute commitment to regional Tasmania and to our regional economy, and has shown absolute confidence by investing his own money in that community, and I know my colleague and friend Senator Bushby would agree with me in that assessment. Alongside those developments, Joe's JAC group is renowned for cultivating local Tasmanian talent and skills in our wine and our hospitality and tourism sectors, and he has, I don't think anyone in Tasmania could argue, an reputation as an outstanding employer and someone who recognises talent, fosters that and helps those people who work for him create a future in our great state of Tasmania. So Joe Cromie is a very worthy addition to the honour roll of Tasmanian Tourism Champions, and I was pleased to be there on Friday night along with the Premier of Tasmania, Will Hodgman, and many others to celebrate his addition to that honour roll. Look, the Tasmanian tourism sector, as I've said in this place, is an absolute engine room for our economy in our state. And here's a few figures just to demonstrate in more recent times how the tourism sector is growing, how it's supporting our economy both inner city and more regional. More tourists are arriving in our state, and the year to June 2017 saw 1.27 million people coming to our state, visitors, not just people returning home, but these are visitors, up from 1.1 million 2 years ago. Tourists are spending more. Visitor expenditure is up 10% to $2.26 billion. That's an average spend of $1,783 per visitor. Tourists are staying longer, with a total of 10.83 million nights across that same period of time, which was up 6%. We've got more interstate visitors. We've now cracked the 1 million interstate tourists in a 12-month period, and the number is at 1.06 at June 2017, which is up again 6% on the previous year. We've got more international tourists, which are up 13% to 253,200 visitors, up, and their spending, that sector of visitors, their spending is up 24%. We have the highest number of visitors in terms of increase across the nation. So there's a great many indicators to show the tourism industry is a massive contributor to the Tasmanian economy, having noted recently, or more previously in previous debates, that the east and west coasts of Tasmania, which are made up of many regional communities, are the 5th and 6th most tourism-dependent economies in the nation. In Tasmania, the tourism industry directly and indirectly employs over 37,000 people, most of those in regional communities. Other awards that have been chalked up recently by Tasmanian tourism and hospitality establishments include the Thousand Lakes Lodge in the Central Highlands, which was named by Lonely Planet. Lonely Planet is one of the top 3 places to stay in the world. You've got the Launceston, the city of Launceston, which I've mentioned already, which is going to play host to the Qantas Tourism Awards Gala Dinner in 2019, which is a great boon for that community, where you'll find 800 tourism operators and industry leaders from across the country converging on our city to celebrate the achievements in the industry. Having said that, though, the Tasmanian industry is no stranger to the Australian Tourism Awards, and previously we've received around 70 of the awards from the Qantas Australian Tourism Awards in the last 5 years. 33 gold, 22 silver and 16 bronze. And some of the other accolades, of course, in 2015, Mona, Cradle Mountain and Port Arthur were named by Lonely Planet as amongst the 10 Australian destinations in the top 500 places in the world to visit. In July 2015, Tasmania was named as the best island destination in Australia, New Zealand and the South Pacific region, and the 4th best island in the world at the Travel and Leisure World Best Awards. So Tasmania has got it going on in the tourism space. We've got a great industry. There is still room to grow. We are seeing an extra 1,600 beds required in Hobart alone to cater for the demand in the tourism sector, to ensure that those international visitors that are going to be coming from the extended runway funded by the coalition government in Hobart, with direct flights from China and other Asian destinations into Hobart, to cater for that demand, we will be seeing the increase in accommodation facilities. And my hope too is that we will see a greater flow of visitors from inner city parts of the state, downtown Launceston and Hobart, into our regional communities, places like Burnie, places like Devonport, Cradle Mountain, the West Coast and the East Coast. I'm very proud of our state, what we have to offer, what many of you should come down and see and spend more time sipping our wine and tasting our oysters. I commend Joe Cromie, the entire Tasmanian tourism industry, and thank the Senate for its time tonight.